What's up, guys? I just want to give you guys a couple updates on the E30. I'm kind of at the mercy of shipping right now. Waiting for a fuel tank, a couple other like electrical related things to fix up the standalone ECU, some issues there. So I think today I'm gonna tackle figuring out why the wideband sensor isn't working on the E30. I do have a second Innovate LC1 controller and another wideband sensor to throw in it if I really have to. So I guess we'll see what happens there. These controllers do have these diagnostic codes that flash, and there's actually a little diagnostic light hooked up in the engine bay. And they'll actually flash codes, and the number of flashes will tell you what's actually wrong with the wideband sensor, whether it's the O2 sensor is dead or something wrong with the controller itself. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys about is a really exciting update. This is actually looking at the side of my house right now, but where these 4 stones are marked on the property is actually where a new shop is getting built. It's going to be about 14 foot high. It's going to be a 30 by 40, so like almost 1,200 square feet. I did actually take all of my cars and park them next to each other, and you can actually fit 4 cars in there comfortably, so all next to each other. I'm actually going to have probably start with a 2-post lift, and then also have a 4-post lift kind of perpendicular to that, just to be able to store cars and stack them. But it should be really exciting. I'll keep you guys posted on updates with that. They're actually going to be breaking ground next week, so stay tuned for that one. So one issue I did see already with the wideband sensor is the actual controller is tucked down here, right next to the header. So I'm wondering if that was damaged by heat at one point, and the sensor just isn't reading. But I'm actually going to hook that up. That little diagnostic light I was talking about is wired right here, so you can actually see where the problem might be with the diagnostic codes. After completely ripping the dash apart and finding more wires that were chewed by rats, I finally figured out that I wasn't getting voltage to the stock O2 sensor connector, and this was kind of jerry-rigged into that, the new wideband sensor. So what I ended up doing was putting a jumper wire on the O2 sensor relay. So now I actually got power to this, and you can see this is the diagnostic light I was talking about, and it's flashing 8 times. So I'm going to be looking in the manual to see what the deal is with that. It's saying here in the manual that error 8, or it blinking 8 times, is a damaged sensor, so I'm gonna try to swap out and use that other sensor. I ended up taking the old wideband controller out of the car. As you can see, it's pretty messed up. I think it got melted. My spare one I'm probably gonna put I guess like zip tie it underneath the car, because it's kind of weird on these. The actual wideband just hooks up right here, and the wideband sensor is, you know, only a couple feet long. So this controller is gonna have to be kind of near the hot exhaust. So I'm probably just gonna, you know, put that, zip tie it maybe to the trans brace or something, just so it's out of the heat. And then since that one's all damaged, I'll probably just end up using this spare one I have. The wiring inside the car is an absolute disaster. The rats definitely got to this, so I'm probably just gonna have to one of these days go through and find all the leads that are chewed up and find where they go, connect them all back together. Or, you know, since there's just so much audio, like aftermarket audio equipment, which I'm not a fan of personally, probably just gonna end up ripping all that wiring out and just going with a sort of delete panel in the center console, just make things simpler. I do want the AC to work, so I'll probably keep that button and the controls for that. But I really want to simplify this car, and since everything else is, you know, kind of on the simpler side with E30s. For this wideband controller, I ended up converting the flying leads that were on the wideband itself. There was like 7 different connectors. Converted it to the stock like E30 O2 connector, I guess. E36s run the same thing. So I connected the power, the lead that goes to the sensor itself. I think it's like a 5-volt signal. That should connect right into the Megasquirt. And then I reconnected this little diagnostic light to see what's going on there. Well, I got to the point where I replaced the whole controller, tried 2 different O2 sensors, and it's still blinking the same error code 2, which means it has a bad sensor. But I tried 2 different ones. So either those 2 sensors are bad or controller's bad, the new one. I don't really know, super annoying. I may take off the wideband sensor off the Evo just to try it. I don't know, before ordering a whole new kit, but super frustrating after all that work. All this audio equipment in the car was absolutely driving me nuts, especially when I'm trying to figure out wiring issues. You know, with the rats chewing the majority of the inside harness. Just makes it harder to troubleshoot. So what I ended up doing was ripping out the majority of the audio equipment that was in the car. There's a giant sub that was behind the seat. And then like an amp, some, I guess, things for the tweeters and inside speakers and stuff. So I ended up cleaning out the whole trunk. It's probably going to be a couple 100 pounds in weight savings. I mean, it's just crazy how much stuff came out of the car. I'd rather have this car go fast than listen to music. So, I mean, that's me personally. So hit me up if you want to buy any of this stuff. Assuming it was all working. I have no idea because I've never listened to it. Now it's time to swap out this fuel tank. Let's get her done. With some movie magic here, the old tank is out. It wasn't too difficult. I just had to take out the drive shaft, heat shield, exhaust, anything that was in the way of dropping that down. Some of those older lines were really tough to get off, so I ended up cutting them. I have a bunch of new fuel hose to use, so everything should have fresh rubber. So next I'm probably going to throw the new tank in and wrap things up and try to start it up again with new gas and new fuel pump and see how she does.